Welcome to the Brentford FC Season Review 24-25.
This season we broke many records, including scoring 4 or more goals in 8 Premier League games.
We also scored a goal within a minute, 3 games in a row.
And our front three scored a combined total of 50 goals.
At one point we even won 5 away games in a row.
And this is 17 more points than last season.
And this is why this is Brentford FC's best ever Premier League season.
Now, as you heard from the stats, probably sounds like an amazing season. And it was. And it definitely started that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as he said, the season started really well, especially at home. And after 8 games at home, we had won 7 and drawn 1.
Yeah,
and as Thomas Frank always says, our stadium was a fortress.
Yeah.
But of course, it can't all be great because at the same time of that brilliant home record, it took us 10 away games to get our first away win. Which
really bad.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was a great time to be a season ticket holder.
Yeah, very true.
Every game was amazing.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah. Like every game we were scoring 4 or 5 goals. But we were also conceding about 3 goals every game. But yeah, I mean, it was just a crazy time. I think come the end of the season, our stadium saw the most goals out of any stadium in the league.
Yeah.
Which is quite a cool stat.
Yeah, it was great stat. But again, it took our 10 away games to get a win.
Yeah.
Which it was not a good start for away. But yeah.
And also in this start of the season period, I think, in October, maybe it was September, in our only 3 games we played that month, we scored within a minute in every game.
Yeah.
But we didn't win any of those games because we lost to City and Spurs away, and then we drew to West Ham at home. And so it was like just after that we were like, okay, we won't score within a minute. We'll score in a minute and 12 seconds. Did that against Wolves.
And we actually got the win.
And we got the win, yeah. But yeah, I think that was the general start of the season. Sort of just kind of mid-table. Can't complain too much as season ticket holders. Seeing a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Sort of a different story though in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup.
Oh. I don't really want to be reminded, but
we'll start with the Carabao Cup. Not as bad. Started well. I think a win away at Colchester, and then we beat Leyton Orient at home, and then we beat Sheffield Wednesday on penalties at home. But not looking too bad until the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, where we faced Newcastle away.
And the big thing that frustrated a lot of fans is I think we made about 7 changes to the starting 11 between the Chelsea game at the weekend and the Newcastle game in midweek. And I think as a lot of Brentford fans, if you asked me, would I prefer to have 3 more points in the Premier League or to progress another round in the Cup, I'd say progress in the Cup.
Yeah,
because we're never going to go down. Exactly.
That was the quarterfinals. We were 1 win away from being semi-finals.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the rest could have been history. But
yeah, so I mean that's obviously a big criticism a lot of Brentford fans have of Thomas Frank is the lack of, the lack of focus on the cup competitions. But then also you've got to remember, so we put full strength team against Chelsea, completely rotated against Newcastle, and then we did what we could in the Premier League game after that. We lost all 3 of those games, so it doesn't matter that we went full strength in the league and rotated in the cup. We might as well have rotated in the league at that point and full strength in the cup. But
hindsight, yes.
Hindsight. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the FA Cup? Our incredible FA Cup run.
I don't want to, but I will. I can't remember what happened before, but I can just remember the way we went out.
I think that's our only game.
Yeah, it was our only game. And it was just a terrible performance against Plymouth. And we lost 1-0. That says all you need, really.
Yep. Another case of Thomas Frank thinking that our second string players are good enough when we don't have the squad depth of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Where our team should have won that game, yes. But it was a Thomas Frank mistake. Shouldn't have rotated so much, and we just embarrassingly went out 1-0 to Plymouth.
To be fair, Plymouth took the opportunity and played well. And at the time it was terrible, but then the next round FA Cup came and they beat Liverpool.
Yeah.
So it made it slightly better.
And then they even went 1-0 up against Man City before going on to lose that game. But, I mean, yeah, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, it was more of a consolation those two future results. But
yeah, and you could say that almost reflected the next part of our season. So after our first 8 games at home with 7 wins, 1 draw, we then didn't get a home win for 4 months. There are a few draws in there, yes. Like there was a good comeback against Man City to make it 2-2.
Yeah.
And we could have won that game last minute, but yeah, I don't think I enjoyed that 4-month period of home games.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but to be fair, we did play Nottingham Forest, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, a few other good teams in there.
Yeah,
so it was a tough set of fixtures.
Yeah, very true. But then there's the positive side.
Yeah.
We started winning every week away.
A win.
Yeah, we won 5 away games in a row. So starting with that 5-0 win over Southampton.
Yeah.
And I think, although around that point the home form went down, I think that was a real change in our season.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, 5-0 win away when you haven't won all season away. I mean, it says a lot about Southampton.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was a good turning point, I think, mentally for the players.
Yeah, and they went on to win 5 in a row, which is our most in away games in a row, which, in the Premier League.
I think we did it in League One or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good 14 years ago.
But to see something like this in our 4th season in the Premier League, it's just great to see.
And then our final segment of our season, no, not the final segment of the season review, but the final part that I've outlined of the season. So we had the start of the season where we could only win at home and couldn't win away, and you have these FA Cup losses, Carabao Cup losses, 4 months without a home win. I think our season really changed again when, with about 8 games left of the season, Michael Coyote came back from injury.
Yes, honestly, the team seemed to play around him from then on.
We played around our right back, yeah.
Yeah. But
genuinely.
And it just seemed like from the point of him continuously starting, it just seemed like the team was much better, worked much better as a unit. And he has had some incredible moments in the short time he's been with us.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, just to name a few, his cross against Arsenal away that led to the goal, his 1-2 passing and assist to Wissa against United. It just there's a few to name.
Yeah,
there's more, but
definitely.
It's been a great signing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we loaned him in January. He came off the bench, I think, twice, and I remember thinking, I don't really know what we've got here. He just looks a bit out of place, a bit. I don't know. He just looked like he was always trying to do a bit too much, which is understandable when it's a new signing. And then he got injured, and so he fit right in at Brentford straight away, especially for the fullbacks.
Yes.
But then, he came back from that injury a few months later, and we were, as you said, just completely different. And since he came back from that injury, we drew with Arsenal 1-1 away, which he had a great role off the bench. From that point on, by the way, he started every game, rightfully. Then we drew with Chelsea at home, and then we won 4 games in a row after that.
Yes.
And this is the point in the season where we started believing we're going to get Europe. Because at this point in the season, we've just won those 4 games in a row. We're 8th in the Premier League. If we win our final 2 games of the season, we finish 8th. It's in our hands. We just needed Man City to beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, which seemed likely at the time, and we're in Europe next season. Of course that didn't happen.
Yeah, and also, to be fair, we didn't win any of those 2 games.
Yeah,
we had a poor loss to Fulham, and then a rather dull 1-1 Wolverhampton away trip.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like what could have been. But at the end of the day, Man City lost to Palace, and so it wasn't in our hands anyway. But I don't know, just that period where 6 games unbeaten, won 4 in a row. Coyote's playing out of his skin. Coyote coming into the team had made Mbeumo so much better, and it was just like everything was going perfectly. And then that loss to Fulham, draw to Wolves, and then we finished 10th place.
Yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day, and it gives me hope for next season.
Yeah, it's been a good season, but it's not been our best ever season, like you said.
Yeah,
I think 2 seasons ago we got 3 more points and 1 position higher, and that season we were 1 game off Europe. So
yeah,
not our best. But yeah, it's been a very good season.
Yeah.
Now, for the final part of the video, we're going to look at our best games, our best wins, our worst wins, and our favourite moments from the entire season. And so, starting with our best game, I've gone with our 4-2 win over Newcastle.
And I have gone with the same 4-2 win over Newcastle.
I'll be very honest. This season, unlike every other season in the league, we've not really had that big win over a top 6 team. We beat one typical top 6 team, and then we beat Newcastle once as our best performances. We sort of just beat the teams below us and lost to the teams above us for majority of the season. And so, talking about memorable moments that we've got from every season, not really many from this season, I felt. But yeah.
There's quite a lot, but in particular games.
Yeah, in terms of individual teams, there's not like a particular memorable win.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good win. We really changed up the system that day.
Yeah.
I think we're playing
a 4-4-2.
Yeah, it was.
With Thiago starting.
Yeah, Thiago started. He played really well. And Burma and Wissa both scored absolute bangers. And Yarmulke played really well in the midfield. I just enjoyed that game. Even Carvalho started.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a very dominant win. And I think the main reason I picked it is it was quite a monumental game in Brentford history, because that meant we'd beaten every Premier League team we'd faced up until that point.
Yeah.
It was it's just an amazing stat to have. But also with the team Newcastle are nowadays, to have such a great scoreline over them is also amazing.
I mean, I also love that game. You know how they post after all the wins, like Thomas Frank in the changing rooms with the players? He was like clapping everyone, and he just said like handshaking everyone, high-fiving everyone, and he said to the players, "What a win! That's a very good team you've just beaten." And he's just right, because they got Europe in the end, Champions League in the end.
Yeah.
So it was a good game.
Good game.
Now for worst game of the season, I've gone with Fulham away.
Yeah, that's
pretty bad. What about you?
I lost to Plymouth in the FA Cup. I just think, although it was a rested side, I just think our performance just didn't have any ambition. It didn't seem to have any ambition. We didn't really create much. And we were beaten by Plymouth, who are 2 leagues below us.
Well, now they are.
Yeah.
They were Champions League at the Championship at the time.
Yeah.
I put Fulham away. I think, when I just hated it. Obviously, Janelt scored that great goal.
Great goal, yeah.
But we offered nothing to the entire game. We played terribly the whole game. When Wilson got that lucky goal in the 90th minute, I was like, you know what, I'm annoyed, but they deserved something out of the game, I thought. Then when, in like the 97th minute, when they got that winner from Wilson, I was absolutely fuming.
Yeah.
Don't think we made a post-match video on that one. No. Don't think I could be bothered.
I wasn't able to watch it.
Yeah, but it was... Oh yeah, you were in America at the time.
Well, I was flying.
Yeah.
I was flying.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
And I'd like to move on to our best player. Our best player of the season. I said Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah, I think that's a clear, obvious one. But I've gone with Damsgaard, who has had an equally amazing season.
Definitely.
I just think he's changed our team.
Yeah.
He's been incredible. He's got 10 assists in the Premier League. He's beaten by like 2 or 3 players, and just to have a player playing that extremely well in our midfield, controlling the game, is just
You know what I find really interesting? Ever since Thomas Frank has been at Brentford, we've never had a number 10. Damsgaard is our first ever number 10, and boy, he's a good number 10.
He's a good number 10, yeah.
When in the Championship, we always played 4-3-3 with 1 holding and 2 8s. And obviously you have like more attacking versions of 8s, Like Thomas Frank's spoken about it a lot before. He has more defensive versions, more attacking version of the same position. So like, you can think of De Silva's as being a more attacking version.
Definitely.
But like, he's not a number 10. This season we've been playing with an outright number 10, and Damsgaard's been so good.
Yeah.
I mean, also I think Wissa should have been in for a shout for best player. I think his general performance in every game was a lot more consistent than Brian Mbeumo, who was sort of a bit inconsistent, but in the end got more goals.
Yeah.
And then you can also say Collins, he's been outstanding.
Yeah. But yeah.
Most improved player of the season, who have you put?
I put Yarmulke.
Yeah.
I think like when I think of our best when I thought of our best players before the start of the season, Yarmulke was nowhere near that list.
No.
Now he's on that list. He I don't know what is, but he runs the midfield now.
Yeah.
And his box to box, his work rates are amazing.
You know what's really funny? Before the Brighton home game, so only 8 games from the end of the season, a random guy said to me, he was having an argument with his friend before the game, and he said to me, what do I think of Yarmulke? And I said, he's a good player, and I'm sure he's got a lot of potential, but for me, he shouldn't be anywhere near the starting 11. I said, I think Jensen should start over him. I think maybe get Yarmulke a championship loan. And then from that game onwards, he was just insane in every game.
Maybe he heard you.
Yeah.
I wanted to prove you wrong.
Maybe. But yeah. But anyway, for my most improved player, I put Damsgaard. Quite an easy option, or obvious option. He's been so good this season, and he hasn't been previously.
Well, I think he was good at the end of last season, though, and he sort of continued that form on.
It's true, he did play well at the end of last season, but then he lost his spot with like, a few games left when Jensen came back, which frustrated me.
Yeah.
But this season, he got like the goals and the assists to prove the performance as well.
Yeah.
And now finally, we've got our top 3 favourite moments of the entire season. Hopefully we haven't missed anything out.
Yeah. Can I start with an honourable mention?
Yeah.
For this. Okay, it wasn't a good game by any means, because we lost 2-1. But I just remember being in that away end when Mbeumo scored. It was quite an exciting goal. Quite an exciting moment. Although, it was only a consolation. I know.
Your honourable mention for top 3 favourite moments of the season.
No, it's just the first thing that came to my mind was that goal.
A goal where it took it from 2-0 to 2-1.
I know.
And nothing happened.
But I just remember it being a very exciting away end.
Sure.
Okay, maybe 2 minutes after that.
Sure.
But it's just the way in that game we were 2-0 down, but we didn't stop fighting like we've done in many games before. We kept fighting, and it was exciting looking forward to that. And then midweek we lost the Plymouth. Yeah.
No, we lost to Newcastle.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that week. Anyway.
Yeah, I knew we lost it.
In no particular order, my third top favourite moment was scoring within a minute 3 weeks in a row. I think we didn't win any of those games, but we scored within a minute 3 weeks in a row. It's just one of those moments. Everyone's talking about Brentford. Makes you want to be a Brentford fan.
Yeah.
What about you?
So third, I've gone with the 3-2 win over Bournemouth. I thought it's the same tactics as the Newcastle one. I put the best game, and it was just good bit of play from good play from Damsgaard and then Wissa and Mbeumo. Their link up was incredible that day.
Yeah,
and the fact that Damsgaard got himself a goal. Yeah, it's just.
Was that his first Brentford goal?
I think it was his first goal.
Yeah.
So that's my reason. Yeah, I thought it was an exciting moment.
And also, from that game, one of the Wissa goals, I just remember it's like a Yannick dummy, then a Yannick through ball. It was just a great goal.
Yeah.
Anyway, my second best moment, João Pedro getting sent off in our 4-2 win at home. And honestly, it felt so good to see him get sent off, because he literally tried to elbow Yarmulke in the away game, and he got away with it. I don't know how VAR didn't do that. Yeah. We got an apology after the game or whatever in the following days, but and then the fact he then tried to get in a fight with Collins or something in that game, and then he got sent off for trying to hit Collins. It was so overdue, him getting a red card and stuff. Yeah. I just dislike him as a person, and I'm not joking. I just don't like him.
Yeah, from what I've seen in those 2 games, definitely I don't agree with you. but yeah. Moving on, my second best moment would be Man United at home. It's a good 4-3 win.
Yeah.
To beat such a big team like Man United. And I'm going to pick out a specific goal. That the overlap from Coyote and then the pass to Wissa, and it's just it's great play all round on the field, and I think that game stands out as one of those games where our teams worked perfectly as a unit. There were standout players and moments, but there wasn't one player we were constantly playing through. We were all working. The team was all working together, and it got us our best result. So.
Yeah. What I liked about that game as well was the subs seemed to have a decent impact.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, Jensen as a sub had a decent impact. And I've just kind of contradicted myself because it was really weird. Thomas Frank put us in like a 4-2-4 formation with no midfield, and then we just started conceding late goals. Thankfully, we held on though. But yeah.
And despite Man United's 3 goals, they didn't really have much in it.
Yeah.
And it was very dominant from us.
Yeah. And then my final top favourite moment was Coyote coming back into the team from that injury, and we just became unbelievable. Like it was so good at that time. Like we were getting good results. We won 4 games in a row, and it looked like we were going to get Europe. And just that general feeling in general that all stemmed from Michael Coyote coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favourite moment.
Yeah, and then my favourite moment was the incredible start to the season we had at home. And I just remember every week excited to go to the games and see such high scoring games, like some good moments, particular games to pick out. Wolves and Ipswich, those games were great, and it's amazing we had such a great start. It was, to be honest, probably the most goals you'd see as a season ticket holder at any stadium so far in the season.
Yeah. But I think that's a wrap to our. I've just thought of another moment which I think we should just shout out.
Yeah.
That Sharda 3 goals, 1 assist against Leicester at home. Just remembered it. But anyway, that should be a wrap to our 24-25 season review.
Yeah.
Hopefully 25-26 can be just as good. Does look like a lot of players are leaving, and we've already lost Thomas Frank.
It does.
So maybe next season's about surviving.
Surviving or rebuilding and hopeful of the future, I think.
But thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.